sun is setting on another day here in Tennessee, and it's time to put away the boat and the rod and reel and settle in for some great PBA action. In our first matchup tonight, Hall of Famer Amleto Monacelli returns to the TV screen against Mike Scroggins, a one-time winner on the PBA Tour. The winner of that match meets Patrick Healey Jr. Patrick looking for his first PBA career title. In a semi-final matchup of champions, Chris Barnes, one of the true stars of the future, meets Hall of Famer and newlywed Parker Bohn III.
Live on ESPN, it's the Greater Nashville Open, not far from the Grand Ole Opry, the home of Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, Amy Grant and Vince Gill. You come to Hendersonville, Tennessee, where the best of the PBA tours come for a week of championship bowling. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly, along with a man that's won 12 titles on the PBA Tour, my friend Randy Peterson. Last week, if you were with us in Peoria, well, we had some new names and we had some new faces. This week, definitely some of the best bowlers of this generation.
Absolutely true, Jim. We have 2 Hall of Famers, a couple of lefties, 3 righties. In our first match, the wild card match, Amleto Monacelli going up against Mike Scroggins. The winner of that match will go on to face Patrick Healey. But I think, Jim, the marquee matchup has to be Parker Bohn III against Chris Barnes. 2 awesome competitors, 1 left-hander, 1 right-hander. Anything's going to happen.
And it was Parker Bohn winning in Latham, New York, ironically, in a tournament that bears his name. I'm going to check in with Karnak here. Time to go out on a limb. Hey, pick a winner.
I'm going with Patrick Healey all the way. He's the only non-winner. He had the highest average on this real tough sport condition, and he had a 300 game this week.
Bowling Hall of Famers here at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center, and a man headed to Cooperstown in the Hall of Fame, Barry Bonds, looks for number 70 tonight. Some special treat for you during our telecast. You will not miss a single at bat. We'll take you there in Barry Bonds' pursuit of number 70. So we've got the wild card. You've seen the wild card in baseball. You've seen it in football. Mike Scroggins, the best match play record of those that didn't make the semis. Our wild card entrant here, and we're underway.
Nice looking shot there.
Monacelli, a huge audience in Venezuela tonight.
Everybody in Barquisimeto is watching Amleto Monacelli back from an injury he suffered about 13 weeks ago. Wow! That's the way to start. Everybody striking.
That cheer you heard from Venezuela might be his son, who also bears the same name, Amleto.
Little Amleto.
His wife, Teresa, back there. It wasn't a career-threatening, but it was a career-altering injury to the tendon.
Yeah, he had to change the way he holds the ball. He doesn't tuck his pinky anymore, and that's changed his roll. It makes him roll it more versus spinning.
Actually had to change the grip, right?
Changed his grip, pitched the ring finger away, take some of the pressure off that tendon.
And the road through the round of 32 and the round of 16. Last night, lost out to Parker Bohn in the round of 8. But as we pointed out, the best match play record that didn't make the semifinals.
He had his way with the other guys until he got to Parker.
A lot of guys might have that same play.
Well, right now, early on, Mike's kind of having his way with Amleto with a double. Nice release, steady head. You can't throw it any better than that, Jim.
Said the key to the match and to winning the championship here, Greater Nashville Open to make good shots and stay out of trouble. Made the top 32, Mike did last week in Peoria.
That's interesting. Is he going to shoot that or throw it? Bring back the ABA. All right.
Or drop it down the smokestack in Baghdad.
All right, well, good attempt at that split. That's Amleto back in. Take a look at what Amleto did in the brackets. Beat Doug Kemp, Tim Chris, and Mitch Beasley. Nice shot there, Amleto. And getting back to the brackets, the last two brackets matches that Amleto won, he was down 0-2, came back to win the last 3 games. Ball's in the swish zone. Watch what it does to the head pin. The head pin gets knocked silly. The pins are all over the place. Amleto's eyeing it. Come on, ball, hook up. All right.
His last victory was in the fall of '97. He made a couple of semifinals in '99. Didn't make any TV shows because of the injury last year, and said tonight is his first step on the road back.
And right now, Amleto's having a little bit of trouble with that left lane, which is the lane he has to finish on. Chop the spare in the second, leaves a 2-8. There's no way Amleto's going to miss this. He won't miss 2 spares in 1 game. And as usual, right again.
Patrick Healey awaits the winner. Scroggins the wild card.
Oh, trip 6. Come on.
Mike last night was talking about the lane conditions, said they were very demanding.
Yeah, he likes them tough. He's been bowling on this sport condition. But take a look at the head pin going to the sidewall, taking out the 6. Or wait a minute, that was a 3-pin. Oh, well, something hit that 6-pin. It was a good break, I know that.
You bowled against him. What's he like mentally as a competitor?
Well, you know, Mike's got a twin brother, Mark. And he's about as competitive a guy as I've ever met in my life. Oh! How about those 2 breaks there? Trip 6 and then we roll to 7.
His brother Mike is back in Amarillo, Texas, and they've actually, there's Melanie, his bride, they've actually gotten into some fist fights on the golf course when they played each other. A little help there late.
He's giving a little dance going on. Right.
Down by 15. Not for long.
Well, Amleto hanging around. He needs to figure out this left lane and figure it out quick.
When he was suffering that tendon injury, there was no bowling, no lifting weights or working out. He went to see 5 doctors. 4 of the 5 doctors said, you've got to have surgery. He said, I'm going to go see some more doctors. And there was actually a little hypnosis involved.
Yeah, well, he went to see a lot of doctors. Thank God he didn't have his wrist or his hand cut on. Oh! Amleto switched balls in that lane. Finally got to the pocket and got a terrible break. Watch this ball hook in the back end. Head pin goes to the sidewall and doesn't take care of the 7-pin.
I think I had a doctor one time like Amleto, who's an eye, ear, nose, throat, and wallet man.
Nice.
Hendersonville. This is Mott Haven, built around 1860, used as a hospital during the Civil War. Today home to the Henderson Arts Council.
And hi, everybody. Brian Kenny here in our ESPN studios. We interrupt you for a moment. We'll get you back out to bowling in just a second.
That's not quite over the plate. For the second time in 2 days and 2 at-bats in a row, Barry Bonds has been plunked.
Right now, back to the Nashville Open and Jim Kelly. Jim?
Thank you, Brian. We are back live now, just 14 miles north of Music City, USA. We're at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And our wild card entrant is Mike Scroggins up against Amleto Monacelli. When we left you, Mike was 15 pins ahead, 2-time PBA Player of the Year. Amleto struck in the 5th, made a spare in the 6th. Thank you very much.
You see the 5-pin acting like it didn't want to fall. All of a sudden, Amleto 15 down. He's 2 pins ahead now. Watch this ball just leaking towards the edge of the gutter, ripping back. The 5-pin gets slapped silly, doesn't know what to do. Finally, just down.
For Amleto, who hasn't won since '97, what does that do to your mindset?
Well, you know, you start to doubt yourself, and you're wondering if, you know, you'll ever win again. But Amleto did see a sports psychologist back home, and he says his mental game's as good as ever. Looking for that trip 4.
He thought in this first match tonight his heart would be going about 300 beats a minute.
Oh yeah, I drifts it still is. This ball drifts a little bit high, gets a good break, only leaving the 4-pin. Amleto goes to the clear boxing glove to punch it out. No pun intended.
A win tonight would be a nice 5th birthday for his son tomorrow.
Wow. Nice shot there.
Monacelli's not even looking.
Well, he's trying to stay focused and pay attention to what he's doing, not worrying about what Scroggins is doing. But right now, Scroggins has got an 8-pin lead coming up to the money frame, the 9th frame. A strike here, he takes an 18-pin lead.
Some technical difficulties. We apologize. We are back live at the Greater Nashville Open. Mike Scroggins, the wild card, looking for his 2nd PBA Tour title.
Uh-oh.
Gets it out.
Here it comes. The sun's kind of telling me this is going to be Mike Scroggins' game. Couple of trip 6s, rolls a 7 once. This ball drifting high, and here it comes. The scout, the bird dog, whatever you want to call it. It's still 10.
And he was patient. Off a strike in the 7th and a spare in the 8th. Monacelli now down by 18.
Well, Amleto had a little too much trouble trying to get locked in, running the pocket every shot. Very critical of his release, his ball speed on the sport condition. Had to make great shots to get to this point, obviously, and today just didn't make enough of them on telecast.
Tough to come back from an injury like that, alter your grip entirely.
Yeah, but I think this is something Amleto's going to build on. Scroggins is going to win the match. Amleto's going to take this experience to Indianapolis next week, and he's going to build on it.
And $9,000 for 5th. Don't forget the prize money up again this year out of a purse of $200,000 here in the Greater Nashville Open. $40,000 for 1st. So wild card entrant Mike Scroggins might remind you of the Oakland Raiders back in '80 when they barreled through the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Wild card still alive. Oh, wow.
Still be a nice 5th birthday for his son, Amleto. So Patrick Healey Jr. and Mike Scroggins in the other semifinal match. But when we come back, Parker Bohn III and Chris Barnes. What a matchup live from Nashville. Back live at the PBA's Greater Nashville Open. We'll take a look at our Bayer brackets. The wild card, Scroggins 226 over Monacelli 162. Up next, Barnes and Parker Bohn. Time now for our next installment in our PBA weekly feature, The Pros Approach. And live from Nashville, we'll take an inside look at sport bowling conditions.
With bowling on a sports condition compared to what we bowl on back home with house conditions, sports conditions doesn't allow you to throw it left or right without some discipline on shot making, and what that does is put a demand on correct ball speed and consistency in your delivery.
You have to swallow your ego a little bit and just, I don't know if you play conservative, but you can't always hook it every time you want to hook it. You can't throw it right every time you want to throw it right, and know that 210 is a good game more times than not.
The sport condition is very flat with no free hook and no hold.
The biggest thing on the sport condition, strategy-wise, you have to have patience. You really do. You know, you're not going to see, chances are you're not going to see somebody have 6, 7, 8 in a row come at you. I mean, they can, but they're going to be really pure quality shots. And at that point, let's face it, the guy probably deserves to win the game. Not that you're not going to try your best.
After a number of shots, the oil breaks down. A trough is formed. The player that makes the right decisions and adjustments will fare the best.
It makes you really concentrate harder, make better shots, and eventually, most of the time, the better bowlers come up to the top.
On a condition like this, in a format like this, you will generally see the better bowlers go further just because they're able to repeat the shot, and I'm excited about that.
The patriotic look for Chris Barnes, one of the future Hall of Famers, looking for his 3rd PBA title against Hall of Famer Parker Bohn III. Looks for his 28th PBA title live here in Nashville. What an ovation. Welcome back live here in Nashville. The PBA Tour is rolled on to Music City, USA. We're in Sumner County, Hendersonville, Tennessee, home of Reba McEntire, Conway Twitty, Johnny Cash, and some of the best barbecue Chris Barnes has been able to find anywhere, huh? And a Dallas boy, he knows barbecue.
Just moved recently from Wichita.
Underway, semifinal match number 1. Kind of work some of the rust off, bowled over in Japan. 3 or 4 regionals for Chris Barnes. Ask him about being rusty. He says, nope, wasn't that rusty at all.
Well, Chris doesn't take a whole lot of time off. He's always bowling, always working on his game.
You just can't go into your bowling center and pick up a shirt like that off the rack.
No, I think that shirt's pretty cool.
Barnes with a spare in the first, and Hall of Famer Parker Bohn with a strike to start it off. That is his new bride, Leslie, and Parker's mom over to Leslie's right.
Great form of Parker Bohn III. Playing outside the first arrow. Watch that ball rip back. And those pins they don't stand a chance against the power of Parker Bohn. Especially when you have that angle and that amount of revolutions.
You want focus? He's on your screen. And the road to the semifinals for Chris. Defeated Mike Seeley in the round of 32. McCune in the round of 16. Jason Hurd in a great match last night.
That ball drifting a little high, leaving the 4-pin. Chris is like, all right, let's see if we can get locked in, dialed in here. What do I have to do? What kind of adjustment do I have to make? That ball trues up right in front of the head pin. What is that thing he's throwing? Don't look, you'll get dizzy.
And a little bit of a bemused grin.
And obviously, the ball changes. He's going to a ball that's made out of plastic or polyester, and it doesn't hook. The idea is to throw the ball straight at that spare, straight and hard, and those balls won't hook.
Said one of the keys to winning was making decisions on the fly. You've got to make the decisions quickly and adjust.
You got to think quick on your feet and make the right moves at the right time.
And the road to the semis for Parker, the round of 32, then defeated Jimmy Johnson in the round of 16. Beat Mike Scroggins, but again, Mike got to be the wild card with the best match play record among those that didn't make the semis.
And last week we saw Brian shoot this left-handed for the 2-8-10 on the right side, and let's see if Parker shoots this left-handed or right-handed. That was left-handed. Oh, almost made. Backs it out of the pit.
How close he came.
2-pin goes over into the back, and you're hoping that that'll pop back out and clip the 7-pin.
He said the key to winning tonight was putting a premium on 9 or 10 really good shots.
Oh, and that's a good break.
That's a huge break.
He's got a back-to-back possible open frames. Now he's looking at 9 spare. That ball's just a little too far left.
Randy, when he talked about the lane conditions, he said if you don't make the read, you're going to go downhill real fast.
He said last night, you know, you had to read the lanes properly, you had to make the changes immediately, and you had to be versatile. So Chris makes the adjustment in the right lane. Leads by 4, working on a strike. Take advantage of the open frame by Parker Bohn III. Oh, he gets the trip 4. Yeehaw, as they say here in Nashville. Watch this great break. This ball's going to drift a little bit high. Oh, look at 4-9 standing. Both of them go down.
What do they say here in Nashville?
Yeehaw.
You had too much of the Oak Ridge boys. They were here, did the anthem. Left lane working on a double. Parker looking on. Oh. Well, good break. Avoiding a big split. PBA Tour has now been added to the roster of Major League Sports at ESPN.com. All the latest informations of the PBA, including news, tournament results, player spotlights, and stats, can be found via the PBA bowling link on the homepage for ESPN.com. In addition, the site also features a link to the Tour's official website at PBA.com.
That's better. Hey, you hear Parker set himself. That's better.
When you talk about this man being focused, I mean, in his own words, he said he doesn't care whether it's behind the curtains, behind the scenes, behind the lines, whatever you want to call it. When he's out there, he's not thinking about anything but those 10 pins.
Yeah, you know, and Chris and Parker are a lot alike. Neither player takes a whole lot of time off. They're bowling constantly, all the time. They always stay sharp.
Ask him if he ever felt pressure. He just glared. He said, not an ounce.
Parker doesn't feel pressure from anyone. Take a look at the action of the head pin right here. It's going to go to the right, and then it's just going to slam right in front of the 7. That's when you look at that pin to take the 7 pin out. Parker goes to the real ugly ball from the spare.
What a terrific semifinal match. Hall of Famer Parker Bohn looking for his 28th PBA title against this man, Chris Barnes, live from Nashville. One of the many beautiful churches around the Hendersonville, Tennessee area, the Presbyterian Church, built back in 1869. A cemetery, a resting place for many Civil War soldiers. We are back live inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center, and we've got Chris Barnes and Parker Bohn in a semifinal lockup.
I think it could have been a lot worse than that.
Well, Chris said it. Hook forever, he said when he let go of this. Hook forever. He's like, well, I'm glad I just left the 2-pin.
Didn't Parker say play smart?
That's why these guys, that's why he's a future Hall of Famer, Chris Barnes, and that's why Parker is a Hall of Famer.
And will wear number 23. Begging for it.
Right there.
What a great shot. 23rd board, about 22.8 miles an hour. Nice result. Parker said, yeah, bottle that one up and keep it. I think he's right.
Talking about the lane conditions here, Parker said they're pretty demanding. You've got to be willing to change or you're going to get swallowed up real fast.
And you also have to make good shots. You know, the players have been talking about that all week. And there's 2 players that are bowling right now. Not a whole lot of people make better shots than these 2 guys. And right now, Parker working on a strike, trails by 10, can even the match. Just like that, we're all square. Parker Bohn, the 8th board, about 20 miles an hour. Perfect result.
And how do you get those results?
A lot of practice. The CAT system, we can use that as well. Computer-aided tracking system. We have at our disposal.
Well, Chris said the TV lanes were on fire during qualifying. What about CATs now? You computered one?
Well, we have a CAT system, which is a computer-aided tracking system on the gutter cap in between the 2 lanes. And what it does is it registered speed, direction, where your laydown point is on the lane. It also tells you rev rates. What rev rates is how many revolutions per minute.
The sensors on the lane there, and during our PBA telecasts on ESPN each week, a new technical innovation, CAT system. We'll explain to you why 1/10 of a mile per hour at this distance translates and is so important.
That's right. PBA is high tech now. We've got all this stuff. Right now, Chris Barnes looking for a strike in the 9th. What a great shot!
And some high fives.
Parker gets up in the 7th and 8th. He strikes. 29th board, 18.6 miles an hour. Ball goes a little bit further out. Perfect result. And he loves it. High five in the crowd. Come on. Now, Parker Bohn working on a double.
You get the feeling Chris almost feels like he's the underdog with the crowd with Parker.
strike in the 9th frame. Brings him within 10 pins. Right now, we have Parker Bohn going at a possible 235 if he strikes out. Chris Barnes, 245. Watch this shot. Look at the back end. Look at the result. And check out the reaction.
And a re-rack for Parker.
Might be to catch his breath. He knows what he needs to do. Big shot right here. Can draw the match even.
Chris can barely look.
Well, that shot got away from him.
Give it a shot. Come on.
Right there.
That was Leslie.
Leslie and Gene. On Parker. Slide that 3-pin over into the 7 somehow. Keep this match close.
For Parker.
Barnes just needs to keep it behind the foul line. And he's your winner.
So Chris Barnes will go for his 3rd PBA title in the championship match with $40,000 on the line. Up next, the wild card. Mike Scroggins, 226 over Monacelli's 162. So Scroggins, the wild card, live against Patrick Healey Jr. Back live in Nashville, about 14 miles from downtown. Predators in action in the NHL. And, of course, home of the Tennessee Titans here in Nashville. And in semifinal match number 1, Chris Barnes, 231 to Parker Bohn's 201. So Chris into the finals with $40,000 on the line against either Patrick Healey Jr. or Mike Scroggins, who was the wild card. The 20th event at the Woodland Bowl, where Randy Peterson won the title back in 1999. That's next week. The PBA Miller High Life Open, Indianapolis. And there's a go-kart track right next door, where PBA Hall of Famer Mike Albee will teach you a little about his sport, and IRL points champion Sam Hornish Jr. will teach you about his sport. They'll do a little go-karting. Some regional events.
Eastern region, bowling on the green, Staten Island. Midwest, St. Clair Bowl, and West region, Palo Alto, California. Look at that little fan.
Maybe a future PBA Hall of Famer right there. So after a little bit of a wait, 45 minutes since we took air, Patrick Healey, a semifinalist, up in the other semifinal match against the wild card Mike Scroggins.
Out of the 5 guys I talked to last night, Patrick Healey was the only one that said he really loved these lane conditions.
Why do you suppose that was?
He said the tougher the better for him.
Said to make the right decisions tonight and select the right ball. Of those 22 regional titles, 19 for Mike in the last 4 years.
Now, let's make no mistake about it. Mike Scroggins has a lot of experience bowling on sport condition.
Why has he done so well on the sport condition?
He bowls in a sport condition league back home. He bowls a lot of regionals where they use the sport condition. But here's an interesting note. In 1999, Mike Scroggins averaged 257 for an entire league season. Right now in the sport condition league, he's averaging 214.
Off the strike in the first.
Kind of shook his head as he walked back from that. Looked like shrapnel flying around after that ball hit the pocket. Going back to the hoops ball. or the Harlem Globetrotter ball.
Chris Barnes awaits the winner for $40,000. And on the road through the round of 32, defeated Ryan Schaefer, then Patrick Allen in the round of 16. Terrific match last night against Ricky Ward in the round of 8.
Yeah, Ricky didn't think so. He got swept.
And Ricky was seen enjoying a late-night Mexican repast. Ricky got caught at a drive-through.
Yeah. Watch this ball here. This, to me, the speed looks a little soft. I mean, Pat's had some time to practice. This ball goes right through the heart, leaving the 3, 6, 7, 10.
Any significance to the fact that the right-hander likes the lane conditions?
Right now, the left and right side, they look like they're playable on both sides. It's just a matter of you know, who gets lined up the quickest. Right now, Pat's struggling a little bit to get to the pocket. Mike Scroggins has got a game under his belt already. You know, he knows, he has a pretty good idea what the lanes are doing.
Missed making the TV show in Japan, and when he is not sharp, it's his mind. He admits it just has a tendency to wander, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, he told us last night that he works very hard on his mental game, and you know, his physical game's always been there. Fred Borden, who's ex-coach of Team USA, said that Patrick Healey was one of the best shot makers he's ever seen.
Mike striking the first, spare in the second.
Oh. Well, 3 great shots from Mike Scroggins. Only 1 strike to show for it. If I was his opponent sitting on the bench right now, I'd be going, well, you know what? I better start striking because Scroggins has got a pretty good line to the pocket.
I guess. That's pretty ugly, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, I thought Mike was pretty much locked in, and that shot just got away from him. What he needs to do is he needs to get the ball over here. It's kind of a funny angle. Get it to go over this way. Take that one out, and ball will take care of these, and something like that. Something like that.
He won his lone PBA title with Melanie alongside back in '92 in Sacramento. It was first ever telecast. Get in there.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty tough just to pick the one, and the problem with that is you just lost a lot of count. Instead of 6-3 or 6 spare, now it's 6-1. Shot from Patrick, moved in a little bit deeper. Let's take a look at how some of our amateurs did on the sport condition. Travis, 186 average for the week, averages 231 in league. Corey Sanders, 183, 229 league average. And, well, you kind of get the point.
Looks like my NASDAQ portfolio there.
Looks like my average on the sport condition. But we'll find out next week.
Talking about last week, Patrick Healey said the lane conditions totally different in Peoria as opposed to here in Nashville.
Oh, what a great big break. High hit, chips the 4-7 out, Jim. Getting back to your answering that question, the difference between this week and last week, it's the same pattern, but we're bowling on synthetics this week. Last week was wood. What a great break, tripping the 4-7-10 out. Look at that determination.
And the man that's moving his family from Mexico City off to Texas still wants to have that southwestern influence there for his wife, Teresa. They move off to San Antonio. A little Latin influence. So Healey has had 3 in a row in frames 3, 4, and 5 for Patrick. As you're looking at that scoreboard here in semifinal match number 2, don't forget we'll be taking you off to the land of the Astros and the Giants. You will not miss Barry Bonds at bat. Little bonus coverage built into our PBA live telecast here in Nashville. Working on the strike in the 5th.
6 frames. Mike's made 5 really good shots. Only has 2 strikes to show for it. And that ugly washout in the 4th frame.
We're going to see that Storm shirt on your back next week at Indy?
Absolutely. Storm, one of the members of the Storm bowling family, making my debut next week.
If you make the TV show, we'll have auditions. We're live at the PBA Tour's Greater Nashville Open. Stick around. Back live in Nashville, the Crystal and a check for $40,000. Will it be Patrick Healey, Mike Scroggins, or Chris Barnes? After being down by 14 pins after the 2nd, that was a strike by Healey in the 3rd, and then
4th frame, really puts a good touch on this shot. Into the 5th frame, he gets the great break, tripping the 4, 7, 10 out. 28th board, out to about, I don't know, 12th, 10th board, peeling it back. Now he leads by 23, working on 3 strikes.
If Patrick has had some problems in the past as he looks for his PBA title, in addition to his mind wandering a little bit, probably his thoughts get a little bit ahead of him, huh?
Well, I don't know what he was thinking on that shot, but that was wide right. And Healey's the 1, 2, 5, 8, 9. And
he's looking like in disbelief.
Yeah, like he can't believe it didn't hook back from there. But that shot definitely looked like it was a little too far to the right. That's a great spare. Wow. Not something you practice a whole lot there. Avoids the open frame.
Well, Patrick's dad started him off bowling, I think, about the age of 9. One of the things that his dad instilled in him was to always do his best. Didn't want to know about the score. Just came back and said, "Son, did you do your best?" Patrick would nod and say, "Yep, Dad, I did."
Yeah.
That's all you can ask.
Yeah, Jim, I think that's great advice. You know, if you go out there and you do your best, that's all you can do. There's no sense in beating yourself up if you don't get the job done. Well, 2 shots wide by Patrick Healey. Fortunate to make the spare in the 6th. This spare should be no problem for him.
And another bowler in the field here in Nashville with that Wichita State connection, huh?
A lot of guys on our tour from Wichita State. Patrick Healey, Chris Barnes, Lonnie Wallachek, just to name a few.
Whoa, might have got away with one there.
Oh, you know what? He's just toying with us up here in the booth. You know, I say he's going to make that easy, and then he tries to make it look difficult. Right now, Mike Scroggins trails by 17. Working on a spare. Trip 6. Nice little break. Couple of trip 6s for Mike Scroggins. This is how he does it. Playing 10th board, almost 20-mile-an-hour ball speed. That would be at the dots.
And how did Mike ready himself for tonight's primetime appearance? Spent some time with his wife, Mel, and his daughter, Rosa, and son, Will, and looked for Seinfeld reruns. Loves Seinfeld, right?
He has good taste.
There's Miss Melanie. He looks more nervous than Mike.
Patrick Healey leading by 17. Spare working in the 7th. Completely lost now on the right lane. Patrick leads the 1-2-10.
We're in the 8th frame here. Barry Bonds coming up to back to Brian Kenny. Back live, thank you, Brian, at the PBA's Greater Nashville Open. Trying to win his second, trails by 3, but Mike working on a spare. The way to do it.
What a nice shot, too. Right now, Mike Scroggins going at a 2:02 pace. If he strikes out, Patrick Healey, if he strikes out in the 10th frame, 2:05. It's going to come down to who can perform in the 10th frame and who can make the best shots.
For Mike, a strike in the 7th, a spare in the 8th, and a strike in the 9th. Kind of been pecking away at Patrick's lead.
What a great break. Even though that shot didn't strike, he was looking at the 6-7 split, which would have just gave it to Patrick Healey. All he would have had to do was mark in the 10th frame to win.
And Patrick can't bear the look. Just trying to get everything together now. Focus, don't let that mind wander at all.
Right now with a strike on a still shot, Mike Scroggins will force Patrick Healey to spare and 8 to advance to the title match against Chris Barnes. All right, there it is. 182 for Mike Scroggins. Here's the situation. A strike, Patrick Healey's a winner. Anything left standing, he's got to make the spare and get 8 on his fill shot to bowl for $40,000 in his first title ever. Absolutely lost on the right lane. Missed the headpin in the 6th frame, missed the headpin in the 8th frame, and misses the headpin again in the 10th frame. Just his ball won't hook from that spot down the lane, and he has no idea why. Right now, he has to make the spare.
You've been there. Sometimes you can try too hard.
Mike Scroggins is your winner.
How about this? The wild card, the man with the best match play record that didn't make the semifinals. Mike Scroggins, 226 to 162 over Monacelli. And then after posting a 182 to 173 win, Mike in the championship match against Chris Barnes. Our championship match. Randy Peterson's a long time, a man that enjoys 12 PBA titles. This man looking for his second, this man looking for his third. How about Mike Scroggins making it with the best match play record that didn't make the semis, the wild card, marching on through Monacelli and Patrick Healey to make it to the championship match to win for the second time with $40,000 on the line. And Chris Barnes, he was talking about the lane conditions being extremely difficult and the gutter ball or the gutter lane just didn't hook, huh?
Yeah, well, what that means is when he gets it to the right, it doesn't want to hook back from there. That one hooked back from there.
Turned out to be a very good ball change.
Chris did make a ball change from the match he bowled previously. This ball never gets far enough to the right. Goes right through the schnoz, leaving the big 4. Throw this at the 2 pins on the right as hard as you can and hope one of them bounces out. If you're going to open, though, that's the place to open the first frame. You don't want to open the 10th frame. We saw that the last match.
What about a lefty and a righty? Does that affect anything on the lane?
No, not really, because Mike's playing far enough to the left. He's not really running over Chris's angle, and Chris is not far enough in to where the 2 lines are meeting. And that's just a whiff. It looked like Mike might have hit his ankle. We reached down and grabbed his. Yeah, he sure did. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Oh. Flipped his ankle. Oh.
Yeah, right, you saw him grimace right there.
Yeah, right off his ankle. All right, regroup. All right, way to come back.
After open in the first, ironically for both, Scroggins with a strike in the second.
You know, and I think this match here, Scroggins has a little bit of an advantage. He didn't sit out a match. He bowled the last match. He's bowling again. And now Chris Barnes has switched balls, which means that the shot that he had the match that he bowled is not there anymore. Great shot by Chris Barnes.
He said he wasn't superstitious, but he made good judgment there. And he talked about the keys to marching on through being to adjust quickly.
One thing that Chris Barnes isn't afraid to do is make changes. Take a look at the prize money.
Increased $200,000 here in the Greater Nashville Open. Prize money up for all 20 events on ESPN.
Oh, yeah!
And the exciting new format that allows a wild card like Mike Scroggins to make it all the ways to the final.
And that's a big shot there on the left lane. The ball before that went through the face and went high, left the big 4. That one he got further to the right. And the ball grabs the lane and hooks back and strikes. If that thing doesn't hook back from there, Chris is going to be totally lost on that lane. Using 2 different balls. Now Mike Scroggins, 1 pin, you man, 1 pin lead. Oh. Great shot. Leaves the ringing 7, where the 4-pin jumps over the top of the 7 instead of doing what it's supposed to do and going to the side wall and cutting it in half.
You know, we talked about him getting into those fistfights with his brother. They were so competitive. I said, did your mom and dad instill that competitive nature in both of you? He just grinned and goes, oh, yeah.
Well, don't let Mike Scroggins fool you. He's a very competitive individual. And you know what, you have to be. To win on this tour at this level, if you're not competitive, you might as well not even come out and bother. Right now, Mike Scroggins trailing by 9. Championship match, $40,000 to the winner. Scroggins comes in light, giving the 3-7. Goes to the plastic ball, polyester ball. He's going to try to get this over to the right side of the 3-pin and slide it over into the 7. Chris Barnes working on his equipment. Oh!
Worthy of a championship match.
What a great shot. He knows he can't afford another open. Gets the ball to the right side of the 3-pin. Perfect.
Down by 11. And Barnes working on the double. Increasing his lead. Speaking of leads.
Right now, Chris Barnes trying to put the sting to Mike Scroggins, working on a 3-bagger at a 21-pin lead.
Frame 5. Gets it. Sometimes when you're supposed to win, things like that happen.
Watch the action here. The 9-pin standing. Something comes over and knocks it out. What a great break to give Chris Barnes a 4-bagger. And look at that reaction. Working the crowd. He doesn't want to be 0 for 16.
I'll tell you what, we got a terrific championship match, huh? This is fun.
Well, they're hitting the pocket. They're catching some breaks. Got some pin action going on. It's kind of similar to the shot Chris Barnes threw on the right side. That would be the left side of the lane. Trip 9 for Chris. Trip 8 for Mike. Mike Scroggins knows what he needs to do. Down by 31.
This one's up for grabs still. Next week, we'll all be on. The PBA Tour rolls on to Indianapolis, the Miller High Life Open. We hope you'll join us a week from tonight. Welcome back. That's Rock Castle, the home of General Daniel Smith, built back in 1794, who acted as an official surveyor and produced Tennessee's first map, credited with naming the state Tennessee from a Native American name, Tanasi, meaning land of many waters, the man of many spares and strikes, Randy Peterson.
Take a look at what Chris Barnes has done here. We talk about making adjustments quick. The first frame, he leads the big 4. 22nd board, about 19. The next time he's on that lane, he moves all the way to the 20th board. 6 boards left. He slows it down just a pinch because he's got to get the ball to hook back. Look what he's done on the right lane, 21 and 22. That's why he went open, 4-bagger. He's feeling it.
What a look at the lane action there, the right-hander. 5 in a row after leaving the first open. That loud screech you just heard in the vicinity of Dallas, Texas, that was Linda jumping off the couch.
Sure was. Chris Barnes taking a re-rack, and maybe not because the pins are off spot, maybe he's just trying to collect himself. That was a big shot. He's got 5 in a row.
Linda's thinking 40,000. I could buy 2 new couches. Didn't like the first re-rack, huh?
He's taking another one out. So now I'm going to believe that the rack is bad. That's his last one. He doesn't get another. However, if the pins come down in a straight line, he's got to shoot it.
Is that like a field goal kicker with an extra timeout? I mean, do you want to think about it that long?
But at times you do. Normally when a player takes 2 re-racks, there's definitely, the pins are definitely not on spot.
Sometimes when you're destined to win, you get pin action like that.
He's feeling it. That's 2 trip 9s in that lane to keep his string of 6 in a row alive.
21 miles an hour even. Watch the reaction right there. Yes, sir.
Slap that hand too hard. You need it for another 4 frames.
Down by 41. Mike is. Come on back.
Well, that ball is dead flush, and that should have struck, and it's a bad break for Mike Scroggins. The spare here, Mike will be going at a 226 pace, or possibly 226.
suppose Mike made for winning in Sacramento back in '92 when he beat Robert Lawrence for his lone title?
I don't know, but it wasn't 40 grand.
I'll bet it wasn't 20,000 for second.
He probably made 16,000. You know, a guy looking to make 40 in his third career title.
Looking for his 7th strike in a row. Chris Barnes. From the right, from the Brooklyn, from downtown.
It just doesn't matter. 7-bagger.
You get your own day.
Watch this break here. Doesn't get this ball far enough to the right. Goes Brooklyn. Watch this pin right here. It's going to go to the wall and take the 10 out.
That's right. That was good. Didn't take long to get back even.
You hear that comment from Chris? What he's saying is he got the great break on the right lane, tripping the 6-pin out. This ball here should have shredded the rack. Instead, he leaves a 4-10 split.
I don't think they'll even fit in between the lane and the ball.
After 7 in a row. Now trailing by 42. Scroggins.
Mike can strike out for 226. Chris Barnes is going at a 234 pace. It's going to come down to the 9th and 10th. God, what a great shot again. All Mike can do is throw his hands up going, geez.
And a little wink. But for Mike out of Amarillo, I think it could portend of good things to come on the PBA Tour this year, huh?
He's a great player. He's going to be. It's not going to be the last time you see Mike Scroggins. And another bad break. Chris Barnes is going to win his 3rd title and $40,000.
He looks like he could use some oxygen right now. Just watching Mike fill it on up. They're all friends.
Yeah, there's great camaraderie out here. These are 2 gentlemen that you're watching bowl tonight. All the guys on the show tonight are great guys. Chris Barnes has got a monkey off his back, finally winning again.
And a very good effort by that man, Mike Scroggins, as the wild card. The man with the best match play record that didn't make the semis. So there is your champion of our Greater Nashville Open. Chris Barnes wins PBA title number 3.